ideas aren't just different, they are dangerously incoherent. They're not even really ideas, just a series of bizarre rants, personal feuds, and outright lies.
I mean, I watched Hillary today. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. It was so sad to watch.
He is not just unprepared. He is temperamentally unfit to hold an office that requires knowledge, stability, and immense responsibility.
This is not a president. 4 more years of this stuff, and I'll tell you, we're not going to have a country left, believe me.
This is not someone who should ever have the nuclear codes, because it's not hard to imagine Donald Trump leading us into a war just because somebody got under his very thin skin.
It's like taking Sominex. To watch her is like Sominex. You ever hear of Sominex? Sleep all night.
You know, there's no risk of people losing their lives if you blow up a golf course deal.
I will say this. Hillary Clinton has to go to jail, okay? She has to go to jail.
Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And while I'm away, I'll write home every day. And I'll send all my loving to you. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lips I am missing. I know that my dreams will come true. And while I'm away, I'll write home every day. And I'll send all my loving to you. Short version. Ooh, all my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true. All my loving, all my loving, ooh, all my loving, I will send to you.
और ये मेरे ख्याल में एक मुनफरिद तरीका है इस शॉप में लाने का लोगों को, ख़ास तौर पर रिपब्लिकन के पुरजोश हामियों को, कि वो यहाँ आएँ और उन शर्टों को और उन बैजेस को ख़रीदें जिसमें इससे ये साबित हो कि उनकी सिंपैथी, उनकी हमदर्दी रिपब्लिकन पार्टी से है। ओवरऑल हमने जो कन्वेंशन में देखा कि एक इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि रिपब्लिकन पार्टी की मेजॉरिटी यानी उनके हामी ये समझते हैं कि ये इलेक्शन वो चेंज के लिए कर रहे हैं, तब्दीली के लिए कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनका ख्याल है कि जो डेमोक्रेट्स पिछले 3 इलेक्शन जीत चुके हैं उसके बाद उन्होंने वो सब कुछ डिलीवर नहीं किया जो अमरीकी अवाम चाहते थे। ख़ास तौर पर वो इकानमी के हवाले से बात कर रहे थे। देखिए चले कुछ लोगों से बात करेंगे आज, जबकि इस आज कन्वेंशन का लास्ट दिन है, कि वो समझते हैं कि इस कन्वेंशन के बाद जब नवंबर में जो फाइनली इलेक्शन का डे आएगा, यानी इलेक्शन इस महीने में होंगे, उसमें ट्रम्प्स की पार्टी रिपब्लिकन पार्टी कितना गेन कर सकेगी। आइए मेरे साथ। Today is a final day now. The convention is now going to end.
Yes.
So what do you think if from this convention, you will get your support is more and more?
I think that the Republicans are now unified behind Mr. Trump. When Mr. Cruz last night did not endorse him, I feel that that was a mistake for him, but it was definitely a benefit for Mr. Trump. He is now a sympathetic figure, and I think that he will reap the benefits of that tonight. However, Mr. Trump has to give a very, very good speech tonight to kick off the week on a great end note for him. If he doesn't give a good speech tonight, people will be scratching their heads and saying, you know, what did we really learn or accomplish this week? But you know, you are here primarily to cover the convention, but also because Donald Trump is a very interesting person as a nominee.
And the personality. And her wives were also very impressive. When I was his speech, I was in Pakistan, I was watching her. Very interesting. And I think yeah.
Yes, no, and she's fascinating, and all the children are good people. But no, we're looking forward to tonight, and think that you know, he will get a bounce, as it is called. After the convention, you're supposed to get a bounce in the polls. So we will see how Mr. Trump does, and then next week in Philadelphia with Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, we will see what kind of bounce she gets, and then it evens out. So it evens out, and then we'll see how we're going to, you know, go from there. So,
yeah. So, what do you think after this convention? You think the general survey, which is telling that Hillary is a 3 or 4% edge over Mr. Trump's. What's your opinion?
Well, you know, if he does it, depending on how well he does, as my friend just said, he will get a bounce. But he's already only he's still 3 or 4 points behind. That doesn't bode well, because if the Democrats go to the convention and then she gets her bounce, she'll still in the end remain ahead.
Okay.
So you know, we know he's going to talk about the wall, building the wall, and you know, and he's going to say, who's going to pay for it? And they're all going to say,
how will she come with a bounce back? How will she react on this convention?
no, for her own convention, from her own convention, she's going to bounce back, because they will paint, much as the Republicans painted Hillary as this awful person, they will paint Trump as a very awful person in Philly.
Sorry, just concluding word. First time I am looking in this election campaign, there is too much personal. Hillary attacking Trump personally, his family, his business, his others, and also Trump's bounce back, and also talking about personal thing.
Yes.
Do you think that this is first time it's going on, or in the past also?
There have been many personal attacks in prior elections. However, these two people, for being one of them is going to be the next president, but they're so extremely unpopular here, and you can see that it does get personal. It doesn't make sense, and some people argue this is the best we can do. You know, someone who's been in, someone who's had essentially no government experience, and then on the other side, someone who has been in government for, 35 years at least, and so, and some would say questionable ethics, so. It's kind of funny in that regard, but he's got some pins here, yeah.
What is this? Guilty. Guilty. Okay, interesting. आप देख रहे हैं कि किस तरीके से ये लोगों ने कैंपेन को जो है, जो मैं कह रहा था कि पर्सनलाइज, फर्स्ट टाइम ये देखा जा रहा है कि दोनों पार्टियां अपने अपने लीडरशिप पर पर्सनल अटैक कर रही हैं. इवन आपने देखा कि हिलरी की तस्वीर के ऊपर लिखा है गिल्टी.
Trump's ideas aren't just different, they are dangerously incoherent. They're not even really ideas, just a series of bizarre rants, personal feuds, and outright lies.
I mean, I watched Hillary today. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. It was so sad to watch.
He is not just unprepared. He is temperamentally unfit to hold an office that requires knowledge, stability, and immense responsibility.
This is not a president. 4 more years of this stuff, and I'll tell you, we're not going to have a country left, believe me.
This is not someone who should ever have the nuclear codes, because it's not hard to imagine Donald Trump leading us into a war just because somebody got under his very thin skin.
It's like taking Sominex. To watch her is like Sominex. You ever hear of Sominex? Sleep all night. Being...
You know, there's no risk of people losing their lives if you blow up a golf course deal.
I will say this, Hillary Clinton has to go to jail, okay? She has to go to jail.
जिस शाहरा पर ये कन्वेंशन हो रहा है वहाँ जगह जगह हमें बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग स्टॉल नज़र आ रहे हैं। आप देखें कि मिस्टर ट्रम्प्स की तस्वीर है जिसमें लिखा है जुलाई 18 to 21। फिर इसमें लिखते हैं कि हिलरी फॉर प्रिजन 2016 और उसके ऊपर लिखा है मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अगेन, मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अगेन। ट्रम्प्स के जो स्लोगन हैं वो बेसिक स्लोगन यही है कि मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अगेन। और अभी मैं जब गुफ्तगू कर रहा था आपने देखा कुछ डेलीगेट्स हैं और जब मैंने उनसे ये मालूम किया कि इस बार ऐसा लगता है कि अमेरिकन इलेक्शन में पर्सनल अटैक बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है। हम इसमें ये नहीं देख रहे कि फॉरेन पॉलिसी जो अमेरिका की अफ़गानिस्तान के बारे में है, जो इराक़ के बारे में है और जो खुद टेररिज्म के बारे में है उस पर तो गुफ्तगू कम हो रही है। और पर्सनली ट्रम्प्स को और हिलरी को उनके जो फॉलोअर्स हैं वो टारगेट ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं। ये सूरत हाल देखकर मुझे पाकिस्तान याद आ रहा है जहां आप इशू के बजाय शरीफों और इमरान खान और पीपल्स पार्टी के बिलावल वो गुफ्तगू कर रहे होते हैं इन पर्सनैलिटीज़ के बारे में। तो ये ना समझे कि खाली ये पाकिस्तान में हो रहा है, अमेरिकन इलेक्शन में भी अब इस पहलू से गुफ्तगू होना शुरू। और आप देखें कि जैसे मैं कह रहा था कि इस पूरी स्ट्रीट पर ऐसे स्टॉल लगे हुए हैं जिसमें ट्रम्प्स के लिए कहते हैं कि मेक अमेरिका ग्रेट अगेन, बिग स्लोगन।
Yep, that's a big slogan, make America great again.
This is your profession, or you are doing this job for this particular convention?
Just this particular convention, they usually chase championships.
Okay. Very good. You are also doing as a professional this job? This job, it is a professional? You making all these?
I do the Republican every year that they have it.
You are a member of this Republican Party?
No.
Supporter only?
I'm a member of the Republican Party, yes. I vote Trump.
Okay.
But I also do this as a living. I also did the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You are personal supporter of Mr. Trump's?
Yes.
His personality,
Yep.
very aggressive personality.
Yeah, you bet.
The election campaign is very loud because of Trump's statements.
Yep, because of the way he is. That's
Very
why.
impressive man.
Very impressive man.
Do you think, I think he's better than Hillary?
Hillary's been abusing us for a long time, and we're tired of it.
Okay, thank you.
Hillary is bad. Hillary is bad.
देखा ये कह रहे हैं कि जनाब हिलरी जो है वो हम लोग टायर्ड हो गए हैं। मेरे ख्याल उसके फैमिली के हवाले से ये कह रहे थे। और मैंने कहा जैसे कहा कि कितने इंटरेस्ट से ये सब काम कर रहे हैं। और बहरहाल जिस तरह हमारे यहाँ बैनर्स और प्रिंटिंग और पेनाफ्लेक्स का एक पूरा एक बड़ा बिजनेस और इंडस्ट्री डेवलप होती है इलेक्शन के दिनों में, इस तरह अमेरिका में भी आप ये देखें कि इनको कोई $10 और $5 करके ये इन्होंने एक बिजनेस किया है। हेलो, हाउ यू?
Good, how are you?
So you are also a supporter of Mr. Trump?
Yes, I support Trump.
Why?
Why? What do you mean, why? Got to make America great again.
Okay. He is better than a Democrat candidate.
He's better than Hillary, correct. Yes.
Can I tell you what? Okay, here's the deal. I do not support Donald Trump, but I really like this shirt. And for posterity, like so I can remember that I was here, I'm getting this shirt. Vote Democratic, Hillary, 2016.
We just want to know what the American people are thinking about this election, about these two candidates.
Trump is great. He's going to build walls. He's going to build jobs. He's going to make America great. We need America to be great. Our country's fucked up. I'm sure you already know. Oops, sorry about that, but our country's messed up. I'm sure you already know.
You're a supporter of.
I'm on vacation this week, trying to make a little extra money. Got kids in college.
Okay.
So.
And you are supporter of Trump also?
Yes, I'm a supporter of Trump. Yes, sir.
It's better than.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
She's crooked. She's got all kinds of scandals.
Oh. Whoa, one big scandal, which you will point out.
Well, the Clinton Foundation, they're taking money from countries all over the world. She's going to owe them favors. That's not a good thing. For a government official to be collecting money from foreign governments, not a good thing.
Okay. देखिए ये जो इनका कहना ये है कि वही मनी प्रॉब्लम करप्शन यानी ये अमेरिकन इलेक्शन में इस बार करप्शन ज़्यादा डिस्कस हो रहा है जैसे मैं कह रहा था कि हमने बहुत कम लोगों को सुना कि वो फॉरेन पॉलिसी के हवाले से गुफ्तगू कर रहे थे ज़्यादातर डोमेस्टिक पॉलिटिक्स के हवाले से समझते थे समझ रहे हैं कि ट्रम्प हिलरी के मुकाबले में बेहतर है हेलो हाउ यू फ्रॉम विच प्लेस यू आर
My name is Marco. Yo soy mexicano. Okay, I'm here supporting Donald Trump for president of the United States, and I'm Hispanic. So there's not a lot of us, but we're trying to. Actually, there is a lot of us, but people don't want to come out and say it. They're afraid because there is so much criticism from the left, violent criticism. They ridicule them. Oh, why are you going for Trump? But Trump means business, and Hispanics, they like business. They have a taco truck, they have paletas, they sell all kinds of things, just like you guys, huh? So Donald Trump's good for business.
I'm from Lakewood.
Oh.
Yep, 15 minutes west of here.
Okay.
Yes. Welcome to our city. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Oh my gosh.
Good. Vote for good life.
Perfect. Definitely.
You are supporter of.
I have honestly not decided yet. I don't know. It's basically deciding the lesser of the two evils, but that's American politics in general, so. I am usually a straight middle-of-the-run voter. I voted for both Democratic and Republican presidents in my voting history.
We're from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we're in the Common Ground in 5th Street Arcade. There's 10 big towers, and each tower represents an element of the good life, according to the UNO. People go there and write messages on a little piece of paper, and we put them on a ball, and we throw the ball on the tower, and then we open the ball and we read them, and it's like a common ground between Republicans and Democrats, and we see that they have the same ideas, and they have the same they really are the same common ground. Yeah.
So vote for the good life.
Vote for the good life.
Which will deliver this good life, either Trump or MS Hillary?
I think it's both. It's really both, because when you look at it and when you see, like, when you think about education, when you think about environment, when you think about all those things that bring the good life, they have the same idea, and they have quite the same ideas. And we see, like, here people are fighting about details finally. So yeah, I think they both have the same ideas. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Vote for the good life.
Yeah.
यहाँ का तजर्बा हुआ कि यहाँ पे भी सड़कें बंद होती हैं। गालिबन ट्रम्प्स यानी अमेरिकन कैंडिडेट अपने काफ़िले के साथ गुज़रते नज़र आ रहे हैं और यहाँ आने वाली तमाम सड़कें बंद नज़र आ रही हैं। ख़ास तौर पर पुलिस का एक बड़ा एस्कॉर्ट है। हम अपने सियासतदानों को कहते हैं कि वो कई वैगनों, मोबाइलों और सैकड़ों पुलिस वालों के साथ चलते हैं। कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग तजर्बा यहाँ भी देखने में आया और मैं देख रहा हूँ कि बहुत सारे मामलों में अमेरिकन कोई पाकिस्तान से मुख्तलिफ नहीं, किसी ने कोई ज़्यादा प्रोटेस्ट नहीं किया कि क्यों आपने हमें सड़कों पर रोका हुआ है इस तरह। हाँ, ये ज़रूर बात है कि ये हार्डली 3 या 4 मिनट तक का स्टॉप हुआ होगा।
Trump's ideas aren't just different, they are dangerously incoherent. They're not even really ideas, just a series of bizarre rants, personal feuds, and outright lies.
I mean, I watched Hillary today. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. It was so sad to watch.
He is not just unprepared. He is temperamentally unfit to hold an office that requires knowledge, stability, and immense responsibility.
This is not a president. 4 more years of this stuff, and I'll tell you, we're not going to have a country left, believe me.
This is not someone who should ever have the nuclear codes, because it's not hard to imagine Donald Trump leading us into a war just because somebody got under his very thin skin.
It's like taking Somonex. To watch her is like Somonex. You ever hear of Somonex? Sleep all night.
You know, there's no risk of people losing their lives if you blow up a golf course deal.
I will say this, Hillary Clinton has to go to jail, okay? She has to go to jail.
मैं इस वक्त रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के हेडक्वार्टर में हूँ, जहाँ जो कन्वेंशन हो रहा है और जिसको पूरे इंचार्ज या हेड कर रहे हैं डॉक मैगल, उनसे हमारी मुलाकात तय है और बड़े बिजी थे क्योंकि आज कन्वेंशन का लास्ट डे है, लेकिन ख़ास तौर पर चैनल 24 के लिए उन्होंने वक्त निकाला। चलें यहाँ थोड़े से ही फासले पर रिपब्लिकन पार्टी का जहाँ कन्वेंशन हो रहा है और तो उसकी हंगामा खेजी तो अपनी जगह है, लेकिन हमने सोचा कि रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के किसी सीनियर स्पोकमैन से भी बात की जाए कि वो इस जो कैंपेन चल रही है किस तरह देख रहे हैं। डॉक मैगल मेरे साथ हैं और वेरी सीनियर रिपब्लिकन पार्टी के लीडर हैं। हेलो, हाउ आर यू?
Well, good afternoon. It's great to see you.
So, first of all, what's going on? Today is the final day of the Republican Party convention. So, I think August, September, October and November, after 4/1. So, the head of the presidency will be on Mr. Trump's.
Yes, it will be. He's got 4 months to convince people that he's the right guy to lead the country. He may not have been our first choice, but he is the one that won the most primary votes. And so he is our nominee. He will be accepting that nomination this evening and making a speech at the convention center. And he will be, I think, setting a different tone and moving in a different direction for the party.
I think I was watching this whole election and talking with the different people. It looks more people are talking about the domestic issues. Mr. Trump's also emphasizing the domestic issues, the corruption, the bad governance, and the foreign policy is not main issue in this election.
It has been mentioned. I think you're going to see more of it. Now, we talked about it a lot on Monday night when the theme was Make America Safe Again. I think you will see throughout the campaign that there's going to be a lot of focus on foreign policy and security issues, simply because the Secretary of State that we had in Hillary Clinton and now in John Kerry has not really represented the interest of the United States very well. And Mr. Trump understands that. I think he will be focusing on it. I think you'll see some interesting commercials about it as well.
So, how you believe on these surveys, which is regularly, it is a very part of this election, particularly in your West. The survey is the last survey telling that there will be some little 2-3% edge. These polls are, the past polls is telling the Hillary is a little bit edge over Mr. Trump's.
Well, you know, what we found in the last few elections is that polls are not as predictive as they used to be. We found that polls are not accurate, and people are getting used to being polled. And so they may say one thing and, in fact, do another when the election comes. I was at a focus group on Sunday with Frank Luntz, who is an international pollster, of undecided voters. And the conclusion at the end of the 3-hour session was that most of the people hadn't made up their mind yet and won't really make up their mind until the election. And so I'm not sure you can trust polls today.
Till now. In general, in Pakistan or in subcontinent, or I can say the Muslim world, there's some fear about the policy of Mr. Trump's about the immigrants. And we are getting directly or indirectly this news that he will treat with American on an iron hand. So it's true.
Well, the presidency is more limited than that may sound. You know, he does not have dictatorial powers. He has great authority to do different things, but most of the authority in the presidency is moral authority, his ability to persuade people. Now, that being said, he is talking about, you know, an issue that is of concern to Americans, and it is safety, the amount of terrorism that we see around the world. Most of it has been inspired by Muslim radicals at one form or another.
Which we are also condemning.
And I think Pakistan has the same concern. I know you do. And so if I say it this way, that we are going to be focusing on security more under a Trump presidency, I don't think it's an anti-Muslim effort as it is, let's find out who the Muslim radicals are and figure that out. And that's the moderation you see in the American political system. The president wants to do something, Congress gives him the authority to do it. So whatever he says he wants, Congress has to authorize, and then they'll work it out. What you'll see ending up is a middle ground that may protect the security of Americans better, but will not be threatening to Muslims overall.
What is the, last and concluding question, what is the real and big issue in this democratic war?
Well, one of the things that is not talked about much is the performance of the American economy. It has been virtually flat for the last 8 years under Barack Obama. And it has been the worst recovery from a recession in the history of the United States. And so people know that. Our labor participation rate, the number of Americans working, is the lowest it's been since World War II. And there are about 90 million Americans that are out of work. These people want to work.
90 million people out of work?
Yes.
We think that unemployment is our subcontinent issue and the Asian issue, but you are telling me that.
It is true. And so what we have to do is find a way to encourage the economy. Our gross domestic product growth has been anemic. I mean, it's only been 1% or so for the past few years. If we could get gross domestic product growth to be about 3 to 4%, it would change the dynamics of everything in the United States. That's the big hidden issue.
Okay.
And another last and concluding question is this. Now the election campaign, you think, is now closed down. And the Americans make their minds that they are going to vote either Hillary or either Trump. Yeah, still 4 months is important during this election campaign.
Yeah, I think what you'll see, the Trump campaign is moving from the politics of campaigning to the politics of governing, which is a different thing. And so I think over the next 4 months, what you will see is more policy prescriptions. You'll see the nomination of good people that will be doing things. People don't realize that when you're electing a president, you're also electing someone that will nominate 3,000 other people to run all the bureaus and agencies and departments of the American government. And so you're going to start seeing who those people were, and that changes perceptions as we go forward.
And sorry to say another last conclusion, the money, I think a lot of money involved in this election.
Yeah, it's going to set records. In American politics, money is a big part of it. It always has been, you know. And there's a fine line that we tread often in these elections. That somebody wants to make a big donation to a political candidate. The implication is, although there is no quid pro quo, or you know, you do me something for me and I'll do something for you. The implication is that they expect something in return. The biggest concern we have is the big Wall Street banks are all supporting Hillary Clinton. And so the last thing we need is another presidency where they're really tilting policies to the big banks and the big Wall Street firms. So it's a concern. The reason that it's not as big a concern as you think is because we have a lot of media people that are paying attention to it, like you.
So do you think that the Hillary is getting funding from different hidden places or from?
Yes, you know, it's a big concern to us. The Clinton Foundation has received donations from a lot of foreign governments while she was Secretary of State. That appears to us as a pure conflict of interest. And in return, you know, Bill Clinton was making speaking fees, you know, $50,000, $75,000, $100,000. All of a sudden, he's making $750,000 speaking fees. Well, that's a pretty big speaking fee. You might want to consider that something else, because I don't know about you, but nobody's offered to pay me $750,000 to speak.
I can't say exactly about our media, but how your media is influenced from the maybe the Hillary's funding or other things. Yeah, if you think that your media like Fox, NCP or CNN, they are totally independent?
Well, nobody's totally independent. You know, these are corporations.
Okay.
And they have an interest in making a profit. And so a corporation, by definition, is going to have its own particular viewpoint on things. Now, you're going to have individuals that work for Fox or CNN or NBC that have their own viewpoints. Now, generally, CNN has drifted to what we call the left. It's coming back a little bit. It's trying to be more objective. We think that Fox it's a little bit to the right. It has some objectivity in some of its anchors. But the media always has had its own agenda. From the very first time of George Washington, and I can guarantee you George Washington complained about the media. I guarantee you that it's not unusual, and I know in every country, everybody complains about the media.
So do you have any complaint specifically?
Well, I think the media tends to be very short-term in focus. Every country, everybody complains about the media.
So do you have any complaint specifically?
Well, I think the media tends to be very short-term in focus. So what they talk about today, you know, will be yesterday news by tomorrow. And there are some issues that really need thorough and in-depth exploration. I mean, the payments to the Clinton Foundation, we need to understand those. We need to understand the people that Trump is going to nominate for the positions in the federal government. We need to understand his real policies. We need to understand Hillary's real policies. We know what she said, but what is she really going to try and do? And so those are the things that the media doesn't spend a lot of time on. They don't get in depth and they don't get you the details that you really need to make a decision.